These 32 players have to be resigned. With the end of the regular season just a few days away, the offseason is quickly approaching. That means teams will have to begin thinking about who they're going to resign, who they're going to let walk, and which players are worthy of the franchise tag. Every team has a list of free agents to be, but they won't be able to keep them all, of course. Good players will hit the market while the best ones will be retained by their current teams, or at least they should be. These 32 players should be top priorities for their respective teams, making them must-signs in the upcoming offseason. Arizona Cardinals, Chandler Jones, OLB. The Cardinals will have a difficult decision to make this offseason with their free agents. Jones has had a nice first season in Arizona, but safety Tony Jefferson has been one of the best at his position. Considering their depth in the secondary, though, Jones is the player they must re-sign. He's a perennial double-digit sack guy and pairs well with Marcus Golden at outside linebacker. He won't be cheap, but after trading for him last offseason, retaining him is a must. Atlanta Falcons, Patrick DiMarco, FB. Not every team utilizes fullbacks often, but the Falcons do. DiMarco is an integral part of Atlanta's offense, doing a great job lead blocking for Devonta Freeman and Evan Coleman. The Falcons don't have a long list of players who are high priorities to resign, but DiMarco has suddenly topped the list due to recent extensions given to Desmond Trufant and Ryan Shredder. Jason Getz, USA Today Sports. Jason Getz. Baltimore Ravens, Brandon Williams, NT. The Ravens have the second best run defense in the NFL, and a big part of that has been the play of Williams. The 27-year-old nose tackle will be a free agent, and while the Ravens may not want to re-sign him to a lucrative contract, they should. He's an anchor on the defensive line, and Baltimore probably doesn't have a player of his caliber ready to step into his role. Buffalo Bills, Stephon Gilmore, CB. Elite cornerbacks are difficult to come by in the NFL, and when a team finds one, it has to keep him. Gilmore may not be in that elite tier just yet, but he's right on the border, despite having a down 2016 season. Gilmore will command top money, but the Bills would be smart to keep him in Buffalo. Having two good cover corners will be a nice start for the team's next head coach, and that's what the Bills will have if Gilmore resigns. Timothy T. Ludwig, USA Today Spot, or Timothy T. Ludwig. Carolina Panthers, Cohen Short, DT. Prior to this season, resigning Short was an absolute must for the Panthers. No ifs, ands or buts about it, they had to sign him long-term. He's had a rough 2016, making less of an impact than he did last season, but he'd still be a smart player to bring back on a new deal. Giving him Marcel Darros-type money might not be the best move, but he can still be an impact player for the Panthers. AP. Chicago Bears, Alshon Jeffrey, WR. Jeffrey had a terrible year. He struggled on the field, and when he wasn't out there with his teammates, he was serving a 4-game suspension or battling an injury. He did nothing to prove he's one of the best receivers in the league, and that might actually be a good thing for Chicago. Now, his price will be much lower than it would have been if he put up 1,400 yards and 10 touchdowns. The Bears will still need to protect themselves with a prove-it contract, but giving him a new deal wouldn't be the best thing for a team in need of weapons. Cincinnati Bengals, LT Andrew Whitworth. The Bengals had issues on the offensive line, taking a step backward after a stellar 2015 season. Whitworth isn't the best left tackle in the NFL, but he is toward the top. And with the Bengals having no viable replacement for him, signing the veteran to a short-term, possibly 1-year, deal would be smart. They need to protect Andy Dalton, and Whitworth is the best man for the job. Timothy T. Ludwig, USA Today Spot, or Timothy T. Ludwig. Cleveland Browns, Jamie Collins, OLB. Signing receiver Terrell Pryor is also a must after his breakout season, but Collins has to be priority number one. The Browns traded a third-round pick to acquire him, and they didn't do so for a half-year rental. He'll be expensive, but the Browns have the most cap space in the NFL next year. Letting him walk after trading a third-round pick would be disastrous, especially after the great stint he had in Cleveland this year. Dallas Cowboys, Morris Claiborne, CB. The Cowboys have a bunch of free agents they'd like to resign, but one of them stands out among the rest, Morris Claiborne. Prior to his crushing injury, Claiborne was playing like a top 15 cornerback. He remained healthy for the first half of the year and appeared to be overcoming the debilitating injuries he's battled in the past. The Cowboys need to retain him and pair him with Orlando Scandrick and Anthony Brown.